Hi guys, Liz here, aka Isabel Shirin, Liz for Paris Adored, Bondi Babe, and all my bots. And this is Coffee with Isa, which I always do on a Monday. Well, I do it on a Sunday, and then you have it on the Monday. I'm coming to you from this sim called Dystopia. I haven't really shown a lot of it, but oh my God, you must come here. I don't know why I've never really been here before. It is huge, and it's like this huge underwater world, and then you go above the water, and there's another world. It's like, well, I guess that's what dystopia is. I don't know what the meaning of dystopia is. I'm going to have to look this up in the dictionary. If you can hear a noise, I'm on a washing binge at the moment. I'm actually doing all my washing. Yeah, I know. I multitask. You know, it's one of those great traits I have that I can multitask. Yeah. Seriously, my machine is so noisy, and it's made me realise now how the neighbours must really get irritated with me, because I often do my washing in the evenings. I don't know about you guys, but we have like this thing that, you know, it's more economical to do your washing and stuff after a certain hour at night. I don't actually have that tariff on my system, but I still do it because I think, oh, it must be cheaper because it's quieter at night. So I do my washing at night, and then I put the dryer on for only the things that need drying, and the dryer makes an awful noise. It makes more noise than this damn wash cycle. And I think, oh God, the neighbours must really hate me. They're underneath me. I'm sure they'll forgive me. One needs to do one's washing, I'm sure. Anyhow, I hope you've had a jolly good week. Mine has been a very interesting week. There's so many things have happened. I don't really know where to start. Okay, I'm on week 2 starting now of the tablets I've been given, and yep, the cough started. It's just ever so mild. It's this dry cough, and actually it makes me sound like I'm sick. So where I wasn't sick before, I now sound sick. No, not this minute, but I sound a bit sick because people will say to me, "Are you okay, Liz?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's just the tablets." Because I don't know, dry coughs are irritating because you don't ever actually end the cough. This is going to sound really meh, so don't listen if you don't want to. But when you've got a wet cough, at least you feel like you're getting something out your system. But when you've got a dry cough, you feel like you're going nowhere. It's just like going absolutely nowhere. And that's what I've had. And it's been happening a lot, on and off. It happened when I was on a phone call at work the other day. And the person said, "Are you all right, dear?" Yes, I'm fine. I'm fine. And I'm like, oh God. And she's telling me what cough syrup I need to go out and buy, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't need cough syrup. I'm actually fine. But yeah, so that's my update on the tablet situation. And the other thing is I wake up with a headache every day. Go figure, seriously. And I've had one dizzy spell, like one spell where you sort of like, I stood up and I went to walk to the kitchen. I was like, whoa, and it felt like I was on an aeroplane. And you know when you've got to hold on to the side because you feel like you've been jolted a bit? It was that. But apparently that's, oh, my computer wants to restart. No, you cannot do that, so go away. How dare it? The computers think that they can restart when they want. No, you cannot. Anyhow, so that's my little update. My other update is interesting. Is the is Firestorm, actually. I want to have a little rant about that. Because anybody that's spoken to me over the weekend will know that I've had real bad problems with Firestorm, and it turns out this error thing keeps coming up, and it turns out it's got something to do with McAfee antivirus. So if you're on McAfee antivirus, and I think it's the most recent update that I've had of McAfee, it's not agreeing with Firestorm, and I had to actually I removed my Firestorm. I uninstalled it and reinstalled it, uninstalled it and reinstalled it. So on the first install after clean and then restarting a machine, I could log into Firestorm. But if I logged out and then I tried to log in again, this error message would come up. And I will detail that in my blog under this video so that you can read about it, because, and I'll give you the link to that on the Firestorm page, because I think people need to be aware of this. So I keep getting this error message and I couldn't even launch Firestorm, and then I'd have to go through the process of clean, uninstall, reinstall. And then I was getting so frustrated. I was Googling it everywhere, and all these different things were coming up which actually had nothing to do with my situation, because I'm using obviously this gaming application, and then I found it on Firestorm, on their Phoenix site. I think it's Firestorm or Phoenix. I just call it Firestorm all the time, but there's actually a page on it, and it seems like it's a some sort of clash with McAfee, and McAfee is doing something and not recognizing it, and even if you've marked it as safe, it's not. So what I did was, and I'll let you know if it lasts, what I did was I actually removed McAfee. So I put my Windows Defender on as my antivirus. I removed McAfee and I clean uninstalled Firestorm. Then what I did was I installed Firestorm, I logged in, and then I downloaded the McAfee and set it up. So far it's working. So I think what it was, it needed to recognize it as a safe thing. I'm not sure if that's going to ultimately work, and I might be swearing by the time I finished filming this, because obviously I'm filming it on Sunday and I haven't logged into Firestorm yet. And yes, I did. I pre-recorded this whilst Firestorm was running. So my visual I pre-recorded because I was really worried that it might not work again. And I'm recording the voice over it. Go figure, I know. So it's all just a mystery to me, but it's driven me absolutely mental. I'm telling you, Saturday night I was up till like nearly 2 a.m. UK time in the morning. No, I wasn't out partying, having a drink, having fun with friends. No, I wasn't doing that. I was playing with my computer. And I was recording the visual of this whilst it was running, because I was really concerned that I would not be able to put out my Coffee with Isa. Luckily, I actually often pre-record a few of my vlogs ahead of time, so I tend to do them in maybe 2 or 3 in one sort of sitting, so that I'm not sort of having to do it all the time, and so I'm glad I've done that, because if I do have a problem, then at least, stuff's still coming out and I'm still, still doing stuff. But it's so annoying, absolutely annoying. Anyhow, enough of the Firestorm. Right, the other thing, yes, I've had some, do you know what? I've been getting schlongs in my emails. Oh man. Are they still coming through? I suppose they always will, and I take it with good humour, actually. No one said anything offensive to me, and actually some of it's quite cute, so I just think, that's okay. I won't look, except for long, cold, dark, lonely nights I might have a peek. Yeah, no, I don't really, no. But I might. Anyhow, yeah, I've had some lovely emails from people. I'm not, going to harp on about that too much, but I've had some really nice emails from people, mostly men. Yes, mostly you men. You do know that my pixel is a pixel. She isn't really me. Well, she is me, but I don't walk around looking like this, No, I don't. And in saying that, I wish I did, but I don't. But it's been really lovely, actually, because quite a few people have connected with me recently, and it's really nice to hear positive feedback and stuff, and engage with people. I do like that, and I've had a couple that have given me ideas for videos, and one of them has suggested I ride a car and try do that sort of thing, and do some speed editing. I'm not really a speed editor, because one of the things is I'm always conscious of the niches different vloggers have, and that has never been my niche. And I don't like to invade other people's niches. I think it's like a general respect for what other people do, and I do things my way and stuff. But I will give it a go. I will give the speed edit a go. Not sure what I'm going to speed edit. I can't speed edit decor because, as everyone knows, despite the fact that I can decorate my own home, and even then, it's seriously, if you go to Namaste, you'll see what I mean. I'm very standard. I'm very sort of boring, really. And I don't have a lot of knickknacks and stuff around because that's how I am in real life. In real life, I'm very... I'll show you a photo one day of my living room. I'm not going to do it today because I need to give it a good dust. But I'm very, very clean lines. My interesting things at home would be my plants, because I'm a tree person, so I have trees in my living room, which make up my knickknacks. I've got a couple of knickknacks, nothing much, and I'm very clean lines. Like I've got cream leather sofa, wooden tables, that kind of thing. I don't have a lot of little decorating items because I hate dusting. And I'm just not one of those people, because if I think that if I was, I imagine going into my old age being one of, oh God, I am a bit of a hoarder, so I try not to be in my living space, but it's all hidden in the cupboards. So if you open my closets, my cupboards, it all comes tumbling down. But if I had all this stuff in my living space as well, I'd be one of those little old ladies that you'd wade into her home, and you'd have to go past all the little knickknacks and all the little china things and everything, and you'd find me in the corner somewhere with the cats. Yeah, and I don't want to be like that. So I'm not very good at doing that sort of decor. And there's a couple of vloggers that are fantastic at doing that. Kes Crystal's really great at doing the speed edit for decor, and I watch them all the time and I go, whoa, look at that. I love watching them. But can I do it? No. But I might speed edit something else. I have an idea. And I'm not sharing it with you right now because I'm not sure how it will work. And this was an idea from someone who left me a note card, and I'm going to try it, but not obviously right this second. So thank you for these suggestions, and thank you for the lovely emails I'm getting. They're really nice, and some days when we all do it, and I don't care who you are, we all have a moment of confidence. Where it suddenly goes down for one reason or another, and we're never sure. And I've had those on and off as well. So when you get an email or you get a thumbs up, positive stuff, it's really nice. It does make a difference, and I always recommend that people do that to, people. Try avoid the thumbs downs, because I don't really get why people do that. Do you know what? I've seen many a video, and I'm not talking about virtual world ones. I've seen many a video on YouTube where I've sat there and gone, oh my God, and I've shouted at my screen and gone, oh my God, but I would never dream of thumbing them down or writing anything that's rude or anything like that, because it doesn't matter who they are. They're a vulnerable human being, and they're expressing something, and yes, they're using a public platform to express it, but they're still expressing something that comes from within themselves. And when you go and attack them, it's not a nice thing, because you isolate them and you make them feel how do you say it, exposed, I guess, and I don't think it's ever a nice thing to do, and I just think people that do that are not very nice human beings. I wouldn't want to know them. I probably do know some of them, actually, to be fair. But if I knew of them, I wouldn't want to know them, because I just think that's just not the way we treat humans. It shouldn't be the way we treat each other, but sadly the world is a vast and awful place at times, and I guess these people exist. Yeah, they do. Like my little thumber downer. My friends have said, don't speak about it, Liz, but I'm going to. Every day, I know who the thumber downer is, actually. I've worked it out. And I've worked it out based on time zones and their online time. I know who it is, which is even more funnier. But the minute I upload video, there's no view, there's an instant thumbs down. So, and it's like, you've just done it. You're subscribed to me and you just do it for the hell of it. And it's kind of like stupid. But I find it entertaining. At first I found it really oh God, what have I done wrong? But now I take it in good stead, actually. Now I find it kind of funny that anyone would actually waste their time, because I know that they're not watching it, but they're just thumbing it down just because it's me. And it's like, right, okay. So this very nice person that sent me the note card and gave me some suggestions sent me a lovely picture with his thumbs up. And I thought that was absolutely genius. Because I just think, yeah, thank you. That was really kind of you. But I don't know. I don't know what goes through people's heads at times. I just sit there and think, oh, okay. But I'll bear that in mind. The other thing is my beach. So I keep going to my beach, and it's funny. I popped in the other day, and there was a couple at it. They were at it. I was like, oh. I had to jump away really quick. I was so embarrassed. Might I suggest, when you're at it, do it inside the house. Just don't do it outside. I know I've got adult furniture and stuff, but that's because that's what I've got. It's a moderate sim, you know. Mind you, if you're a naturist and stuff, I suppose you do it outside, don't you? Yeah. I guess we've all done it outside at some stage in our lives. I know I have. I did it at Bondi Beach once in a cave, like where you walk along one side of Bondi Beach and you go, there's Tamarama Beach, which is the adjacent to Bondi Beach. We walk along the cliffs there. There's little like, rock areas and stuff. Yes, I did it when I was 17 in the rocks. The world rocked for him, but it didn't for me. Let me tell you that now. I was just like, right, was that it? Thank you. So, but yeah, try and do it indoors. It's kind of embarrassing for people that land. I mean, I am genuinely embarrassed, actually. Other people aren't. I know they don't care, but I am actually. So if I land and I don't say hello, it's because I'm genuinely embarrassed. So, I don't. Do you know what? When I first came to SL, no, you know, you have relationships and stuff like that, and yes, it's lovely to get together and stuff like that. But it's alone time for people. Yeah. So I recommend. There's 3 little houses that you can use. Yeah, I know. I've given you 3 little houses, and on the other side of the big house, there's a privacy area. Feel free. I might put up some outdoor curtains, you know, so you can have seclusion and stuff like that, and then get it on. Yeah, please do. But just don't do it on the beach. Right near the landing, I was like, hello. Oh, so funny. Oh, I just love it. I think that's what I love about the virtual world. You can do anything that you wouldn't ordinarily do in real life, although some people do it in real life, obviously. We've all done sort of funny things in our real lives. But in a virtual world, you can actually be and do and be who you want, do as you want, within a limit, of course. And that's what's the great thing about it, is that you've got an escapism and fantasy, and you can live out those fantasies, or you could live out your real life and be as mundane and boring as your real life. I often do that. I come in and I think, oh, I need to mow the lawn. Oh God, I need to dust that. Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I've got a lawnmower, and I pop it on and I go around mowing my grass sometimes. I've even got watering cans, and I pretend that I'm watering the garden and things like that, and my friends will turn up and I'll be doing this sort of strange thing. Why not? You know, I'm living my dull and otherwise boring life in my second life. No, I'm not really, no. I could never say that my real life was boring, ever. No. I've never ever considered my real life boring, and I've never actually felt bored. that's one of those words that I struggle with when people say I'm really bored, or I've logged in and I've been bored. And I think, how can you be bored? How can you possibly? I think what people are meaning is that they're not interacting with anyone. And that is an unfortunate thing, because you can be alone at a lot of the time, unless you've got a group of friends, or one friend that you mingle with. And if you are shy in your real world, to break out of that shyness in a virtual world sometimes is difficult. But that's where I think going to bars and clubs and activity places in SL is a great thing, because there's a lot of people like you, and you sort of you do connect, because you bump past someone and you only need to say one thing, like, my goodness, isn't this lovely, and then someone will interact with you, or they may not. Which I've found. But then often when people don't interact with you, it is also, you've got to remember, there are people all around the world on SL, and some people don't speak your language. I think that's the other thing. And one thing I do recommend when you're in Second Life, and it's just any virtual world, is actually have a Google Translate web page up. That is the most handiest thing you could ever have. I've even got it on my iPhone now for people I communicate with, because I just think, everyone has to make the effort to communicate. And if someone is speaking a foreign language, it doesn't mean that you just ignore them, because actually they could be just like you, and you could hit it off and be the greatest of friends. And I have some really great friends and who I Google Translate with. And one thing, I did buy the translator thing, but my God, the hard thing. But you have to speak in public chat with those, and often the conversations I don't want to have in public chat unless I'm on my own home ground and stuff. But I recommend those. I can't say which one is best, because I've struggled with those, so I end up using the Google Translate. But I've known quite a few people, for example, from Japan and France, who only speak their language, and those Google Translate HUD things that they wear are fantastic, and I've managed to have conversations which have been really great. So I would recommend that. But also, the London Sim in Second Life, visiting there, that's really great. In actual fact, there are a number of sims for different countries around the world. Some are busy and some are not. I guess that's based on time zones as well. But if you visit the sim of your country, that's quite good, and you can meet people there, because often visitors go there that don't come from the same place. But London Sim's quite good. London Sim's been around a long time, and I noticed that a lot of people go there, and it's always busy. There are always people there. Yes, there are some idiots there. I log in sometimes and I visit there, and I think, I hear the conversations and I think, what? What are you talking about? So, but I would recommend visiting sort of populated places like that if you're feeling bored, because they introduce you to new people, and you get to sort of interact with people, and that's what Second Life's about. It's about interactions and meeting people. And also, if you look on the destination guide on your web page, part of your Second Life account, you can see many places that Linden Lab always update, mostly on a daily basis, destination guides for the day, or every other day. And that's handy. I often go on there and then click around, and I find new places to visit. Like today, Dystopia. I mean, I understand Dystopia's been around for a while, but I've never been. Well, I came here the other day and decided I'm going to do coffee there. But I'd actually never ever been here or anything, and I understand it's been around a while, and I'm like, how could I have never been here? But then I travel all the time, so there's so many places, so many unheard of places as well, that you suddenly go, oh, why didn't I know this was here? But it's just how it is, it's such a vast world that actually you can never really ultimately be bored. And if you really are feeling that way, try Sansa. Yeah, because I'm telling you now, I love Sansar too. I haven't been in it for the last few days. What I like to do with Sansar is I like to leave it a few days, then I suddenly go in and go, oh, this is new. But I haven't had a chance actually the last few days, only because I had my babysitting duty yesterday all day, and you know, I was playing hide and seek. Yeah, I lost every time. He could find me every single time. I couldn't find him though. I wonder why. I think it's a size difference. But yeah, I was playing that, and I was just doing sort of family type things as I do. Most of today is on and off of here. I've got family popping round, not for long, but just visit, quick flying visit, and then of course well, today is Sunday that I'm recording this, but by the time you get this, it's Monday. So it would have been yesterday, by the way, yesterday. And also, I've sold my iPhone. Haha, I know. I've got this iPhone 6 I've been trying to sell for 2 months. Do you know how hard it is to sell an iPhone on eBay or Facebook or any of those things these days? You get such dodgy people. I sold my iPhone once on eBay, and he was, you know, send me an invoice, blah 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 blah, and I saw his address. He was at a penitentiary in America. You know, when you think, how are you going to have this money, mate? How are you going to have this money to pay for this phone? And I sent him this thing, and I said, I don't need to invoice you, it's on buy it now, just buy it. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm not giving you no information on PayPal or anything. I'm not that stupid. I've been down this road before last year when I had my PayPal and everything into. I'm not giving that information. And yeah, he was in prison. His address was penitentiary, and that would be where I would be shipping it to. And I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I've sold it 3 times on eBay, and each time it's turned out to be scams, which is really worrying. And apparently it's this thing about phones, mobile phones, iPhones, and even on Facebook they've tried it, and I'm like, God. So anyhow, I put it on. In the UK there's this app called Spock. So I put it on there, and seriously, within 2 hours someone had bid on it and obviously lowered the price by £20, and I went, yeah, thank you very much. So I sold it. So I'm really pleased with that. But yeah, you do have to be careful online. Oh God, speaking of careful, I went into my junk mail a couple of days ago, because I don't go in my junk mail anymore, and I had a look at it, and oh my God, I'm still getting so many requests for me to provide my details on my bank account so that they can transfer money into my account. These scammers, oh, I love them so much. I do love them so much. They just, the emails are so far-fetched, they just entertain me to the max. But I'm not even going to read them anymore, because I think I'm not giving you people a time of day. So, but just to let you know, yeah, they're still around. They're still being little irksome pests. They are irksome pests. I even had it, would you believe, on Plenty of Fish. I was on Plenty of Fish, and I actually don't actively look for anyone on Plenty of Fish. I do on Tinder, but like I said to you before, Tinder I treat it as a joke, so I swipe and all that kind of thing. But on Plenty of Fish, it's just an app on my phone, and it logs me in, logs me out all the time, and I get messages. Well, anyhow, this man messaged me. So he was from New York. Very, very handsome. Yes, he was very handsome. So he messaged me and hello and all that, but the way he was right, sorry about the noises, I'm on spin cycle now. yes, I'm on spin cycle. Anyhow, he messaged me, and I guess it was the way he was writing. I thought, there's something not right about you. There's just something not right. So anyhow, he says to me he wants to talk to me. Then he says to me, I need, what's my email address? And I was like, why? Then he said, well, how about your phone number? And I, well, why? And he said, well, because I want to add you to Hangabout or Hangout. It's a Hangout app. I said, well, I don't have that. He said, well, download it and give me your number. And that's how he said it. He kept saying it. So anyhow, I said, I'll tell you what, give me your number and I'll add you. With no intention. I had no intention of doing that. So got the phone number. Now I know numbers in America because I've got friends in America, and I'm like, this is not an American phone number. It's so I'm like, looked at it, and I went on Google. Oh yeah, it's Belgium. A Belgium scammer, basically. And then I saw the Hangout thing. So I went and Googled Hangout about scammers. Oh, it's a big scam thing. So I'm just letting you know, be careful with people that message you and ask you to join Hangout, because they get your phone number. And I don't know if you've got an iPhone. I don't know whether you realize this or not, but people with iPhones, like for example, if I get someone's number and I put it in my iPhone and on my contact list, it populates to all the apps I've got. So if their number is on any of the apps, it links to their apps. So basically, if they've got a real name on it, you'd get their real name, and it links to your Facebook as well. So when you go into your Facebook app, now this is something a lot of people don't realize. When you go into your Facebook app and you want to add friends, look at the one that says contacts and then click on that. It will actually bring up everybody that's on your contact list on your iPhone that are on Facebook. So that person that you contact, you might not want them to know your real life details. However, your phone number on your mobile, which you might have used for your Facebook, actually links you, and then it shows you your profile, which I discovered a couple of times. So you might wonder how I say people are scammers getting your mobile phone numbers. It's very easy. They get your mobile phone number. They then get your Facebook account if your mobile's linked to your Facebook account, and from there, anything that you have not hidden from the public, they have access to, so they can see photos, they can see whereabouts you are, all those sorts of information. And frankly, some people are reckless and careless on their Facebooks, and more identity stuff's there, like date of birth, basically where you live. So it's not hard to work out, pinpoint people like that. So this plenty of fish thing actually really highlighted to me, these scum are even on the dating sites. I mean, they're targeting women and trying to get information and stuff, and he was doing that, and I was just like, anyhow, I was speaking to a girl at work about it, and she said, I want to show you something, Liz. And I was like, okay, what's that? She said, I've been talking to someone. She said, I thought it was just me. And so anyhow, she shows me this guy's talking to her, and he looks very fit. He's like really handsome as well and all that. But he starts to ask her about what she does for a living. And then he starts to ask her, are you financially solvent? Do you have savings? That kind of thing. And she wisely was like, well, I don't think you should ask a woman whether she's got savings and that kind of thing, because it's really of no importance. And he was trying to make out it was, he just doesn't want to end up with a woman that's got nothing behind her name. And I said to her, no. I said, he wants to end up with a woman with something behind her name because he wants to scam her. And honestly, women are so vulnerable on the internet, and I really realise this. It's terrible. I don't know what men get scammed by Russian sex goddesses who are really 6'6" men in the background. You guys get scammed too. But there is a lot of them on the old dating sites, and they're becoming more prevalent. My friend was talking, another friend was also talking to someone who was widowed. You know, it's the famous thing, they're always widowed and they're always a solvent, and they're retired at the age of 49. Yeah, at the age of 49 they're retired, and you think, wow, how cool's that? They're not. they're these little people sitting behind computers, and then they're all swapping seats and taking over from each other, and no, they're just disgusting. So yeah, I thought I'd highlight that to you as well. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I don't know. The world is a very strange place, but I think the other thing is, in this last fortnight, we've had some really awful things appear in the news, and I won't go on about the politics because don't get me started. But the Hurricane Irma and what was happening over the other side of the world has really shocked me. I ended up in Texas and Florida, and there's Caribbean type islands and stuff, and I'm like, what is going on? But I don't know why I'm shocked, because since man began, since we were first ever like a little seed on this planet, the planet seems to have a auto-destruct thing that goes on with Mother Nature. Mother Nature tends to do this rebirthing thing, and she cleanses. That's how I see it. She's like cleansing. But it's awful. And I ended up... because I've got a couple of friends over in Florida, and I was like really, really worried. I ended up at night and during the day, there was a live feed on YouTube, and I was watching it, and they were doing like the CNN news and stuff like that, and I was watching it constantly. And it was really scary stuff. But what I couldn't get over, what I could not get over, and has really, really shocked me, and I don't know why it shocks me, because human beings are a funny species. What has really shocked me is that there were static cameras in different places filming, and you could see how bad it was. You'd suddenly see someone walk past at these places that were supposed to have been evacuated, and they were told not to go on the street. You'd see people walk past the camera, and you'd think, what? What are you doing? You moron, get away. I was just like... people really don't listen. People are so arrogant at times that they really don't listen, and they still go out and do things that they shouldn't do, and they take their lives at risk. And you know what? Yes, they might be okay and they haven't lost their life, but they could have, and that's crazy. People make some decisions. And the other thing I saw was the looters that just ransacked shops and stuff. And I'm like, really, you scummy people, how could you do that? How could you do that in a time of devastation for the people's businesses and homes and stuff? You go in and you loot things like bloody trainers. Or, I don't know, you probably don't know what trainers are, but sports shoes and stuff like that. How could you do that? That's really, really awful. And then over in the islands that they've done it as well, the looters going in, and I just think people thrive on tragedy, and it's an awful thing, and I don't know why human beings behave like that. I mean, maybe I don't know what I'd be like. I mean, maybe I'd loot. Oh, no, I don't think I'd loot, but I don't know. But, I understand if you were starving and if it was a bit like The Walking Dead. I'll use that show because I love that show. If it was like that, I'd understand raiding houses and stuff like that to get food to live and water and stuff like that. That I'd understand, survival. But to get things so that you can make lots of money, I don't understand that. I really don't. I just find that pretty low on the human scale. You should be helping each other. So yeah, it has really touched me, this whole Irma thing and what happened there. And people, we all take things for granted. We take our lifestyles for granted every day. I do it all the time. I take for granted that I can sit here and record this, that I've got electricity, that I've got a computer and I've got internet, that when I walk out the door, I'm safe, and I walk and get on a bus and I go to work and I get money and I can buy food and I can drink water and I can waste water. I take that for granted every single day. We all do. But what we need to understand is, if we lose all of this, the devastation that we would feel. And what's strange about it is, many, many years ago, people were used to living without any of this, but we're not. We are so not used to not having these things. So every one of you that are listening to this, you're used to it as well, because you can log in and you can flick on your internet and stuff. But imagine if you didn't have it. I mean, I get a bit etchy when I can't use my computer or something goes wrong. I am like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I have to say to myself, Liz, get the context here. Get it in context. What's more important? What is more important are the people and our families and our friends. And it isn't actually this stuff, but we're used to it. And we're so used to it that we actually numb ourselves to what's going on around us. We don't take notice, and I've been taking notice a lot lately, and I get moved to tears. Seriously, I do. When I see things on the news and stuff, it really gets to me. Maybe it's because I'm getting older and I'm realising our mortality, I guess, as I'm getting older. you start to realize mortality, because the people around you, you know, your parents sort of, as you get older, your parents start dying. Your older brother, your older sister starts dying. You know, you're faced with more of what mortality means as you get older, and maybe it's that. But it's taken me all my life to suddenly look around and go, oh my God. Things that I didn't really appreciate when I was younger. I really didn't. You know, I never really appreciated what was happening in some of these third world countries. I do now. And it breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart that we carry on every day and we just carry on because we are so used to what we've got, and we'll see something on the news and we'll go, oh, that's tragic and da 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 da. But we don't actually do much about it. We don't really. But then I think we don't know what to do about it. That's the other thing. But I do think about it a lot. And so when I see events happen, they really affect me now. I kind of, yeah, it's like I've got someone there, and it's really bizarre. It really affects me. And like I said, it maybe is a sort of an aging thing. And I think as you get older, when you go past 40, you realise that actually you're on your way to death. Yeah. And my friends always say to me, Liz, do not talk like that. And I'm like, but it's true. We go up a hill till we get to a certain age. So when we get to about 40, 45, then the hill starts to descend again. And it depends how long the descent is. Some are more lucky than others, but the fact is we live to die. And that's something I've had to get my head round, and it challenges many beliefs I've got. I mean, I actually am quite... I do believe in a lot of things. I don't talk about it because religion is not very, you know, I'm not going to talk about religion and stuff. But I do have strong beliefs. I respect all religions because essentially we all believe that there is more, and that we have conscience, and we have all those things that make us human beings. But yeah, I sometimes question stuff, and I think, why did this happen? And I can never get the answer. No one gives me the answer. How dare they? So, but I do believe in trying to make the most of your presence here, because we have to. But I also think we have we have some duty to actually not just think about ourselves, but to think about others, because we have people we're leaving behind when we go. When our descent down our mountain is final, and when we pass on, we are leaving our children, we are leaving our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. We are actually leaving bits of ourselves behind, and we need to leave something good behind, because if we're so selfish all our lives and we don't think about that, we've actually destroyed our future, because it is our future. Even though we're not here, it's our future, because I strongly believe that our children and our grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and as it goes on, we carry on living. That we do carry on. We may not be here in the presence that we are now, but we continue. So, and I think that we need to think about that and remember what we're leaving behind, and make sure it's something good. So now that I've ranted on about that sort of stuff, you can tell I'm feeling in one of those moods, can't you? Yeah, I'm feeling very philosophical and all about life and living and all that sort of thing. That's because I've got to go back to work. I always get this way. Magdalene, when I need to go back to work on a Monday, I'm like, oh, God. Oh, let me tell you about work. I'm going to tell you about work. Work. It's a place I don't want to be. I don't think many people want to be at work. It's not a really happy place at the moment. We're going through a restructure, which at the moment is not affecting me, but I think it will ultimately. And we're going through a restructure. Some people are facing reapplying for their jobs. Luckily, I didn't have to do that this time round. But people are quite selfish in their ways. That I think people are selfish because they're concerned about losing their jobs and blah, 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 blah. So people work selfishly, and unfortunately, people are working so very selfishly. And I find that environment very difficult to live with, actually. I'm not a very selfish worker. I work well on my own. In fact, I work better on my own, but I work as part of a team. And I always, I don't do that job for me. I do that job for the organisation I work for, and I get paid to do it. So everything I do, I believe, has to be part of that team. But a lot of people don't work like that, and I'm seeing that a lot lately. And I'm also seeing people not being kind to people at work, people talking behind people's backs, that kind of thing. It's just, I sit there and think, what is wrong with you people? Did you not do that at school? But clearly, it carried on into adulthood. So, yeah, there's a lot of that. And I think that is part of the culture of people just, they worry about themselves, and then they actually lose sight of actually why they're there and what they should be doing and blah, 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 blah. I think people, unfortunately, when people are pressured and under strain and worried about themselves, their reactions are not necessarily always ideal. And we all get like that. We all bite back but actually, you're at work 8 hours a day. It's the majority of your lifetime. And I worked it out once that I spend, in the mornings, I spend an hour and a half getting ready to go to work. I spend 20 minutes on the bus, another 15 minutes walking. I'm at work 8 hours. I leave work and I spend another 15 minutes walking and a bus trip that takes me 40 minutes because of the traffic. Then I get home. Then I do my housework. I'm thinking about work the whole time, and the only time I sit down and relax is probably about 7 o'clock at night. So if you think about that in the essence of the fact that you do all that just to go to work, your quality of life is only those few hours that you have before bedtime, and then it starts all over again. I actually pulled it apart one day and thought about that, and I thought, wow, the majority of our lives is at work, and work has to be a positive place, because if it's not a positive place, your whole of your personal life is affected by it. And I wish people would get that actually their negativity and the way they behave actually makes part of their lives pretty crap. And it makes other people's parts of their lives pretty awful as well. And that's a long time to be feeling that way. And I've seen one or two people really under strain lately, and it's very hard to watch. And I just think that it shouldn't be like that. But then I would, I'm one of these people, in an ideal world, it would be like this. Yeah, my dad used to say to me when I was young, Liz, you see life through rose-coloured glasses. I still do in many ways. The day that I take those glasses off, that'll be the day that I'm not here, because you have to see life through rose-coloured glasses. You have to actually see the good and see the sunshine and see something else other than all the negativity. Because if you just live with negativity, what is the point of being here? There really is no point. That's what I say. That's the same as Second Life. If you're really, really miserable, what's the point? There's no point. Says the blogger. There isn't a point. You just have to enjoy it. You have to make the most of every moment you've got, and when you meet people, understand that their weirdness and their interestingness and everything makes them who they are, and sort of embrace it a little bit and find out about them and get to know them. I've come across quite a few people I'm thinking, you're a bit odd. And then I take the time, and then I think, no, you're not odd at all, actually. You're actually an interesting person. I want to know. And I think we need to spend more time doing that. And because otherwise you miss out on just meeting beautiful people, really. There are beautiful people out there. I've met quite a few recently in SL, funnily enough. And that's from doing the vlogging and stuff, because I've always said it, I'm always a loner. I always have been a loner. I actually like my alone time because it allows me to be creative and do some of my bits that I do. But I also like time with people and being able to have a conversation and interact with people. And the last 6 months or so, I've come across some really lovely people. and got to know them, and I think you're just lovely people. And people don't realise, you know, there are so many really nice people out there. Oh yeah, of course there are some idiots. There are idiots everywhere. Idiots everywhere. But then I look at those idiots and I think, now what makes you tick? What makes you act like an idiot? And I often do that. People say to me, mute and delete, Liz, mute and delete. I don't do that. I give people a chance because I just think you should. And when they do something, then you go, you know, that really sort of gets your heckles up. Then, of course, you mute and delete them. But give people a chance, because sometimes people act in sort of weird ways because they don't know how to act, or they don't have that social skill. You know, you've got to look beyond it. That's how I see it. You just need to look beyond it. And just see someone for, you know, who they could possibly be. Yeah. God, I sound really lame actually now that I think about it. No wonder my dad told me stop seeing life through rose-coloured glasses. I've spent all my life doing this. Oh, but I'd rather see life the way I do it than how other people see it, because I would rather see life in a good way than constantly in a negative way, because otherwise then I wouldn't want to live, really, to be honest. I wouldn't want to be here if it was all just completely negative. What's the point then? There is no point. I still believe that one day I'm going to win the lottery, and I still believe that I'm going to be a multimillionaires and build my island like Namaste. I still believe in so many things, and it does me good to believe in them. It's a challenge. It's a challenge to think, right, what can I dream about? I love dreaming about stuff. I dream all the time. I'm realistic. I know dreams don't come true. I'm not that stupid. But it's nice to dream. I mean, you know, dreaming and stories and fantasy, this is a wonderful thing. And, you know, don't stop dreaming, I say. Do not stop dreaming. Anyhow, now that I've bored you with my philosophical things, I'm going to go. Because I think I'm on this tangent that's going to take us down the road of you're going to be yawning and falling asleep very, very soon. And I've just realised I've been speaking for nearly an hour, which is probably the longest I've ever spoken. And I think this is a subject that you might want to put your earphones on really late at night. If you need to get to sleep, this is the video to watch. Or if you need to throw things at the computer because you don't agree with what I say, feel free. It's your computer screen you're going to break, not mine. Anyhow, thank you for listening, as always, my trusted friends. I hope you have a really wonderful week, and I hope that my firestorm doesn't die on me yet again, because I'll probably do a rant video. I'll be ranting at McAfee. Yes, I will rant them. And yeah, anyhow, keep those schlongs coming in. I'm loving them. I have a collection now. Seriously. No, I am kidding. No, I don't really want you to send them, but they do make me smile. And I'll tell you why they make me smile, not because I've seen the schlong. Because one schlong is not the same as another, believe me. I've now seen that. No, it's actually the nice emails I get. It's the really nice positive emails that go with the schlong pictures, funnily enough. Yeah, the bits about what you want to do to me, we'll save that for Pornhub, shall we? Anyhow, have a great week. Okay, bye-bye.